Who was better, Hannibal or Scipio? Miss McGuirt's fifth period.
Hello there, history fans. I'm Valerius Maximus, your favorite historical reporter.
And I'm Flavius Livy, Rome's even more famous and popular historical reporter.
Please join us tonight as the Passes of Blast television brings you another exciting episode of Compare, Contrast, and Conclude.
This is the show where we compare and contrast historical figures.
You, the audience, get to draw your own conclusions.
Tonight's show is particularly exciting one. Who was the greatest general of the ancient world? Rome's Scipio Africanus or Carthage's Hannibal Barca?
I can't wait to see what our audience decides, Flavius and Livy.
Neither can I, Valerius Maximus. So let's get started. Hello there. Can we ask you a few questions?
Sure. I'm just on my way to the baths. What do you want to know?
Tell me, what do you know about the Punic Wars?
A lot, actually. History is my favorite subject in school. The Punic Wars were a series of 3 wars between Rome and Carthage between 246 and 149 BC. Both Rome and Carthage wanted to control trading routes in the Mediterranean. Trade makes you rich, you know.
Do you mind if I butt in? I love history too. The Punic Wars were the largest wars in the ancient world. Before they began, Carthage was the most important power in the Mediterranean. When the Punic Wars ended, Carthage no longer existed.
Rome had a great army, but no navy.
Carthage had a great navy, but no real army. They used mercenaries, hired soldiers who fight for money.
The wars cost hundreds of thousands of lives
And forced many farmers off their land in Italy.
These homeless farmers had nowhere to go but Rome and no way to support themselves.
Rome became the dominant power in the Mediterranean, but ended up with a lot of social and economic problems as a consequence.
Wow, you two are really well informed. I'm impressed.
Can we just ask you which power was greater, Rome or Carthage?
Rome. I love the way they built a navy almost overnight by copying a captured Carthaginian ship. Their invention of the corvus also allowed the Roman navy to fight on the seas as though they were on land. The general Scipio Africanus was a real hunk too.
I'm for Carthage. The mercantile harbor was fantastic, and I love the way Hannibal Barca crossed the Alps using elephants. You can talk about Scipio all you want, but Hannibal was even greater.
Did someone mention Hannibal Barca? My great-grandfather served with him on his Italian campaign. He also fought in the Battle of
How exciting. What did your great-grandfather say about Hannibal?
Only that he was one of the most talented commanders in history. He was often called the father of strategy.
What else can you tell us?
My great-grandfather used to say that when Hannibal was faced with problems or obstacles, he would say, "We will either find a way or make one."
How interesting. Thank you so much for your time.
I see a Roman soldier over there walking toward the forum. Excuse me, do you mind if we have a word?
Not at all. What do you need?
Are you at all familiar with Scipio Africanus or Hannibal Barca?
May the gods protect and preserve the memory of Scipio Africanus, the greatest general of all time.
Can you tell us why you feel that way?
Certainly, every member of the Roman army feels exactly as I do. Scipio was a man of great intellect and culture who could speak and read Greek. He also was a great orator and an extremely fair, generous man.
I didn't know that. Tell me more.
Scipio was the first Roman general to expand Roman territories outside of Italy. He was great in strategy and tactics. He was always able to inspire his soldiers with confidence. He also supported land distribution for veterans.
I just love his famous quote, "I'm convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it."
That was Scipio for you. He always thought things through. He helped make Greek culture popular in Rome.
Well, TV audience, I hope you've enjoyed the show so far, but it is now to bring out our big guns.
Let's hear it for Generals Scipio Africanus and Hannibal Barca. Yay!
Go Scipio!
Thank you, PBTV.
It is always wonderful to grace you with my presence.
Well, Generals, thank you so much for being here. If you don't mind, PBTV would like to ask you a few questions.
Certainly. What do you like to hear?
Tell us about yourself, please.
I came from a military family who had long struggled against aggression of Carthage.
Hey, that's not fair.
General, be patient. Your turn is coming.
Both my father and uncle were killed during the battles with Carthage. When I was young, I swore an oath to my father that I would spend my life defending Rome against Carthage. That is what I did too.
Why were you such a great general?
Well, from the time I first took command when I was 25 years old, I never lost a battle. I am most famous for defeating Hannibal at the Battle of Zama. My soldiers loved me and would follow me anywhere.
And General Hannibal, sir, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Only that Scipio wasn't the only general who lost family members in the Punic Wars. My father died fighting Rome, and the Romans also killed my brother Asdrubal and lobbed his severed head into my camp. I tell you, those Romans have no manners.
What made you such a great general?
If Carthage had sent me men and supplies like I asked, which would have allowed me to lay siege to Rome, the Battle of Zama would never have taken place. And what about my crossing the Alps with all those banded elephants? Tell me, that wasn't pretty terrific.
What about the Battle of Cannae?
You mean where my forces slaughtered or captured 50 to 70,000 Romans? It was one of the greatest defeats in Roman history.
And I believe one of the bloodiest battles in human history too.
I will agree that Hannibal was a great general, but sir, I did beat you.
You had the support of Rome. Carthage never rewarded their generals in victory, only punished them in defeat. If we had switched places, you too might have lost.
Our time is about up. Before we go, however, I'd like to ask Hannibal a question. General, is it true that you taught Romans the meaning of fear?
As a Roman, allow me to answer that. Yes, Roman parents would tell their children brutal tales of Hannibal when they misbehaved. Over time, Hannibal had become such a figure of terror that whenever disaster strikes, Romans exclaim, "Hannibal enter portes," or "Hannibal before the gates."
I'm afraid our time is up. Thank you so much, Generals, for speaking with us.
Well, audience, it now is up to you. PBTV has compared, contrasted, and now you must conclude your opinion. Who was the greatest general, Scipio Africanus or Hannibal Barca?
See you next week. Good night.
That's a wrap.
Good night.